Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, my name is Nur Arifatul Izzati binti Muhammad from AB101 section 2. My ID number is KBJ2002108888. So today, my group members and I would like to present our case study question 3 for subject commercial law. We provide this presentation video for Madam Hamidah binti Ali. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amin Hakim bin Isham, KBJ 2002108809 AB101 section 2.
My name is Nur Arishana Dia binti Wahaini, KBJ 2002108808 from AB101 section 2.
Hello, my name is arinie.faeiqah binti Saadun. I'm from section 2 AB101. My KBJ number is KBJ 2002108884.
I will start with the question first. The question for the case study 3 is Sarah wanted to sell her house located at Subang Jaya. She instructed her agent Hakim to sell her house. 2 weeks later, Hakim successfully sold the house but sold it for Rm500,000. After the transfer of house was being complete, Sarah was aware that the market price of the house was Rm800,000 and the purchaser of such house is Hakim's wife, Hilwana. Sarah wanted to use Hakim to breach of duty as an agent, advised Sarah. Next is issues. The issue that needs to be resolved in this case is whether Sarah can sue Hakim or not for breach of duty as an agent by selling Sarah's house for Rm500,000 when the price of the house is Rm800,000.
For number 3 is formulation. This case is related to creation of agency. There are 5 ways an agency relationship can be created. 1 is express agency. An agent may be appointed expressly by a principal touch agreement between the principal and the agent. According to Section 140 Contract Act 1915, the agreement can be made in writing, orally, or by conduct. Number 2 is implied agency. This agency relationship implies from words spoken or conduct of principal and also implicit from the relationship between the parties in partnership, employer, employee, and husband and wife. Number 3 is agency by relegation. Principal may ratify the act of an agent who had no authority to act of his behalf. There are conditions to be satisfied to ratification to be valid and binding on principle. Number 1 is must have been authorized. Number 2, the transaction must be lawful. Number 3 is agent must have acted as an agent, not a principal. Section 149 Contract Act 1915. And number 4 is the principal must be in existence at the time of contract. Number 6, Number 6 is the principal must have capacity at the time of contract. Number 7 is principal must have full knowledge of all relevant facts. Number 8 is ratification made within reasonable time. Number 9, ratification must be whole of transaction. And number 10 is ratification must not injure third party. Section 153 Contract Act 1915. Okay, for number 1 is agency by necessity. Section 142 Contract Act 915 provide the agency relationship imposed by law in emergency situation to enable the agent to do all such acts as necessary to protect the interest of principal. Condition necessary to create agency by necessity is it was impossible to obtain principal instruction. The action of was necessary to prevent loss to principal. Number 3 is agent must have acted in a good faith. Okay, last one for number 5, agency by holding out. as TOEFL, where principal by this word or conduct have led other to believe that agent was his agent, where in fact agent was not, principal will be bound by Agent Act. For the above situation, Sarah can rely on the agency by ratification if she wants to sue the Hakim for breach of duty as an agent.
According to the principle of agency law by ratification, it is an agency relationship established in the event of one of the following circumstances, which is when a person who has never been appointed as an agent, as if he or she has authority as an agent, or when the appointed agent acts out of authority given. There are several conditions that need to be met, namely, first of all, the act must have been authoritative. Second, the transaction must be lawful. Third, first of all, the act must have been. First of all, the act must have been authoritative. Then the transaction must be lawful, and agent must have acted as an agent, not as a principal of Section 149 Contract Act 1950. Next, the principal must be in existence at the time of the contract, and the principal must have the capacities at the time of the contract. Principal also must have full knowledge of all relevant facts. Then the ratification made within responsible time. And then ratification must be to the rule of transaction, and lastly is ratification must not injure. Third, first and foremost, the act must have been authorities. Then the transaction must be lawful. Besides that, agent must have acted as an agent, not as a principal of Section 159 Contracts at 1950. Then the principal must be in existence at the time of contract. And the principal must have the capacity at the time of contract. Principal must have full knowledge of all relevant facts. Then ratification made within responsible time. Ratification must be to the rule of transaction. Lastly, ratification must not injure third parties of Section 153 Contract Act 1950. In the event of any of these circumstances and in accordance with the condition that have been set, the ratification for confirmation become valid and binding on the principal. Then the principal is given the choice of whether to accept or reject the contract. If the principal ratifies the contract, this acceptance or confirmation is known as ratification. Ratification makes the principal bound by the contract as if the agent had been duly authoritative before. According to Section 149 of the Contract of Act 1950, if actions are taken by a person on behalf of another without his knowledge or authority, he can choose to ratify or not to acknowledge to the actions. If he If he ratifies the action, the same result will follow as if the action had been carried out by his authority. Further, according to Section 188 of the Contract Act 1950, a person dishonestly represents himself as an agent authoritative by another and thus induce a third party to deal with him as such agent. If his alleged employer does not confirm his action, he must compensate the person. The third, if about with kind of loss or damage, he served as a result of dealing with him. According to Section 150 of the 1950 Act, the ratification can be expressed or can be informed in the conduct of a person on whose behalf the action is taken. Ratification can also be done either explicitly or implicitly. According to this case, Hakim has done something to Sarah, that he had sold Sarah's house from 500,000 to his wife Hilwana, while the market price of the house at the time was 800,000. Sarah did not know Hakim did so because he did not tell Sarah that the market price was actually 800,000. So Sarah could choose either to confirm as if the act was done with her permission and power, or reject the Hakim Act. If it confirms the action, the same effect will occur as the action was committed by its authorities. Even on the contrary, Sarah could also confirm the action of Hakim selling the house at the price cheaper than the market price at the time. Sarah's actions was valid in accordance with Section 149 of the Contract Act 1950 because Hakim had breached her duty as an agent by acting outside the powers conferred.
Okay, I would like to present for the number 5 in supporting case law. Mr. Padi is a special agent. Special agent have the authority to carry out any task only as directed by the principal. His power are limited to the specific task only and cannot act beyond those limits. Ms. Padi was assigned by Mr. Hamid to find a buyer for the house, which a price of Rm415,000. So the power of the agent is only special to see the house at the price as feasible only. He shall not exceed to the limit of the authority set by the principal, as for example selling the house at the cheaper price. Section 164 state that an agent is bound to manage the business of its principal according to the interaction given by the principal or in the absence of interaction from the principal, according to customary practice in a business dealing of the same type where the agent managing the business. When the agent actually authorize, if there is any loss suffered, the agent must pay compensation to this principal, and If there is any gain, it must make arrangement about it. Case relate to feature to follow interaction to principal was stamping verbatim 1804.43 Feynman and G 435. In this case, the principal had ordered by agent to out insurance to their ship, but the agent had failed to do so. Ship to the principal was lost and the failure to take out insurance by the agent result in the principal loss. The court ruled that the agent commit an offence for future company which the principal interaction, then the agent has to pay compensation to the principal. Next, for the section 149 of the contract SCT 1950,000 state when agent is done by any agent for the principal. The principal does not know the authority the agent to do test. The principal may choose to validate, accept or reject the agent actually. If the accept the validity of the act, the effect is if the act was done with his permission and authority. Ratification can be granted in the following questions. The action of the agent in question are invalid or beyond this control or a person predicting be an agent. The agent acted in the name of the principal, not in his own name. Case Kelly Method and Co. Duran 1000 at 240. The agent to Kelly acted to purchase the floor required by the company at the higher price than has been set and bought instead in his name alone. Kelly refused to accept shipment of the floor from Duran. Court decided Kelly was not responsible because the agent bought in his own name and Kelly did not confirm. The principal must be able to contract with the agent deal with third party and during verification to be made. Case will be in the case when the agent deal with a third party, the principal company is still in the process of establishment. By the Sixth Court rule, the company was incapable of controlling of the time. At that time, confirmation is to be given. The principal is informed of the matter to buy it. They can confirm unless he does not care about the matter to be confirmed. The principal shall rely all of the agent, as confirmation is not prejudicial to third party. Section 153 set out the action of an agent to be ratified must not injure or harm other parties. Confirmation must be made within a reasonable time. For the last through section 149, the formation of the agency through ratification. Ms. Pade actually is deemed valid because it has abandoned the concept of Encik Amir after being prisoner by his agent. After the principal ratifying the action of the agent, the principal is fully responsible for all actual agent. That means that the entire act of the agent is confirmed by the principal, the ratifier by the principal. This has a retropositive effect. and of the agent that has been done before the ratification is also retired by the principal. That's all from me. Thank you.
Alright, I will continue again with application. So, based on Sarah's situation, she managed to prove and meet every agency requirement by ratification. According to Section 149 of the Contract Act 1950, if an action is taken by a person on behalf of another person without his knowledge or authority, he can ratify or not acknowledge the action. Even in this case, Sarah chose to ratify Hakim for having breached her duty as an agent by not disclosing the actual market price of the house. Since the Hakim had acted outside the powers conferred in parallel with the said section, the court ruled that an agency by ratification could be created. As such, Sarah is entitled to sue Hakim for having breached her duties as an agent. Lastly is for the conclusion. The conclusion is, yes, Sarah is entitled to sue Hakim for not performing her duties as an agent properly. Hakim did not tell Sarah the actual market price of the house and even sold the house at a cheaper price to his wife. Thus, Sarah can rely on the agency for ratification for successfully fulfilling the conditions, and Hakim offers are also in line with Section 149 of the 1950 Contract Act.
Thank you.